Okay, I don't know how to do this. I'm doing this on the tablet, so confused. So like, what's up? It's like, what time is it? It's 8:34 a.m. I do not know what I'm doing, but we'll go ahead and get started. So first off, we finna do watch some horror shorts party. Don't watch some of the videos, cause yeah, just want to. But so like. I'm scared.
I grew up in Denver, Colorado my whole life. At the time, my parents had just bought me an iPhone for my birthday. I was of course excited to finally have my own phone. They bought it for me so that I could communicate with friends and family. I would also use it to listen to music while I walked to and from school. I usually walked every day, as the school was only a few minutes away from our house. Everything was great until one day. I was walking home from school, messing around with my iPhone and listening to music, when, out of nowhere, two masked and hooded men jumped out at me. Before I could do anything, they charged at me and wrestled me to the ground. Then one of them held me down while the other tried to pry the phone out of my hands. I screamed for help, but there was no one around. I kept wailing for help as the two men got my phone and both ran away to a nearby getaway car. The next
Gang got his stuff jacked. Probably the first day he got it. I would have pulled out a switch and started.
thing I knew, they were driving away with my phone. I was incredibly shaken up and immediately ran home to tell my parents. They called the police and made a report, but the police told them that there wasn't much they could do. There was sadly no
Do y'all see this? That massive forehead, bro. I swear I could fit a whole TV screen right there. I ain't even gonna cap, bro. A whole TV screen can go right there, bro. No cap, bro.
surveillance footage in the area, and I couldn't give a very good description of the men since they were masked and hooded. I was completely devastated that I had lost my new iPhone. It didn't help that my parents were kind of hard on me. They didn't even buy me a new phone because they were afraid that I would get robbed again. I was pretty depressed about it. I felt like an outcast at school since everyone else had phones and they were always texting each other. A few days later, I told my two friends what had happened. They couldn't believe the situation either. That's when one of them suggested that we use the Find My iPhone feature to track the phone down. I was kind of skeptical and didn't think that we'd actually be able to find it, but I figured it was worth a shot. So, my friend pulled up the information on another device, and to my surprise, he was actually able to track down the phone. I couldn't believe it. It wasn't even
It took that fast just to track down that phone. Hey, maybe I should get the app. Boom, booklets.
even far away either. The three of us walked to the location and found that the coordinates led to a house in a neighborhood close by. At first, I figured we should just call the cops and let them handle it, but they didn't even seem like they had cared about the situation before. We decided that we would come back to the house later that night and handle the situation ourselves. I wanted revenge, and we knew that we were the only ones who could get it. We went through a few different scenarios of what we could do. Finally, we decided on a plan. We would mask up and set the house on fire. We were all a little hesitant and scared, but we agreed that we had to do it. So, later that night, I waited for my parents to fall asleep. Then I snuck out of the house while wearing a mask and hood. I then met my friends at the nearby park. Then the three of us started walking toward the house with our supplies. We had all brought gasoline and other products to make sure that the house would burn. We didn't talk to each other much as we walked towards the house. We were all too nervous. We all knew that what we were doing was something dangerous, but it felt good to take matters into our own hands. When we got to the house, we got even more quiet. We slowly snuck towards it and began pouring the gasoline. Once we were done, there was
That don't look like gasoline. Gang, that look like a pile of fart. That ain't no gasoline. What are they talking about? They finna load this house with a fart. It's finna go. Go. Bro, did I stutter that hard? Bro.
only one thing left to do. Instantly, the house burst into flames. We all ran away as fast as we could before anyone could spot us. Then we each headed to our separate houses. When I got home, I snuck inside and went to my bedroom. My parents were still asleep. They had no idea what I had just done. I climbed into bed and tried to sleep it off, but my heart wouldn't stop pounding, and my anxiety was too high. I heard sirens drive by a few minutes later. I tried to ignore them and just focus on falling asleep. By the time the morning came, I was still awake. I had just laid in bed all night, scared that someone was going to come knocking at the door, but no one ever came. We had gotten away with it. I got out of bed and started getting ready for school like any other day. Then I checked the news. There was footage of the fire on TV. Apparently the house had burned down almost completely, killing a family of 5 that was inside. I went to school after that and saw my friends there. We all acted like nothing happened. None of us said a word about the night before. We just tried to put it behind us. But every night since, I couldn't fall asleep. I couldn't stop thinking about the footage of the fire that I had seen on TV and the family that had been inside. Months later, my friends and I were arrested for starting the fire. The cops had found security footage of us outside the house, and they were able to get the IP addresses of anyone that had searched the home's address on Google. We were all charged with arson and murder and sentenced to prison. What made it all the worse was that I found out that it wasn't even the people that robbed me. We had tracked down the iPhone to the wrong location. As I went through everything involved with the trial and sentencing, I couldn't help but think about how it had all been over an iPhone. All of that for just a phone. This story was inspired by a horrific incident regarding a 20-year-old Colorado male named Kevin Bui, who faces up to 60 years in prison for taking out an innocent family of 5 by setting fire to the wrong home. In a barbaric revenge plot over his stolen iPhone, Bui pleaded guilty to igniting the late-night blaze in a Denver neighborhood in August 2020, after using the Find My iPhone app to track his stolen phone to a general area. Bui, who was 16 at the time, was portrayed by the prosecutor as the ringleader of the 3 friends who plotted the inferno that incinerated the Senegalese family, which were all tragically taken away in the blaze. 3 other people broke bones while escaping by jumping from the 2nd floor of the home in the middle of the night. Surveillance video has captured Bui and his 2 friends wearing full face masks and dark hoodies when they set the fire to the home. Police fingered the trio as suspects after obtaining a search warrant and obtaining their IP address that had searched the home's address within 15 days of the fire. The suspects were arrested about 5 months after the blaze. All 3 were sentenced accordingly.
Nah, that's crazy. Bro burned down the house with 5 people in it. It's crazy, bro. It is a real life situation. Made him soul's rest. Amen. I give that one like, I don't guess. It wasn't really scary, so I'm gonna give it like a 6.5. Wasn't really scary, but yeah. Alright, this next one is True Dollar Tree Horror Short Story 1. Narrated by Terrence Nicholson. Yeah, Nicholson. So let's go ahead and get started.
I've been working at Dollar Tree for a few years now. I work from the afternoon until close 5 days a week, so I barely have any time to go out with friends, even when I do have the time. The job is so soul-sucking that I don't have the energy. My coworker for 90% of my shifts is this other woman, Karen. She's not as bad as a stereotypical Karen, but I think she will be once she hits middle age. I'll just say that she and I don't have the greatest workplace chemistry. Most days, it's just me and Karen running the place, doing all the work while our boss just sits in his office doing piss all, if he's even there. One Sunday night, things started out as usual. It was an hour before closing. The boss had already taken off. Karen was running the register, and I was sweeping the aisles, trying to get a head start on our closing tasks. The store was nearly empty, just fluorescent lights and dingy white tiles, and the same shelves I have to stock every single day. That's when I heard a customer coming in. I continued sweeping the aisle, then moved on to the next. This one was in the middle of the store where I could see right to the entrance, and when I glanced down the aisle to see who had entered, I saw one of the most disturbing things ever.
Bro, what is this bill? I don't know what he looked like, but what is that bill? Gang sitting there like, then his eyes just popped out like that, and his mouth just, I think, yeah, but what? Why is bro standing like that? And he just fat. Go to the gym and do some push-ups, lift some dumbbells, do some sit-ups, punch a punching bag, do something. Stop being a couch potato, bro. It's crazy.
It was a man who looked insane, holding a huge machete.
Hey, bro, I didn't mean all that. I didn't mean all that. I was just kidding. I was just kidding. Wait.
At his side. Worse, he was staring right at me. He looked to be standing right by the register, but it didn't seem that Karen was there. I thought she must have gone to the bathroom. I was alone with this man. He may have been over 50 feet away, but there wasn't a single person or obstacle between us. I was terrified. I stopped sweeping, refusing to take my eyes off him before he looked away from me. But he didn't. He kept his gaze fixed directly on me. We stared at each other for almost a minute. Suddenly, he burst forward. He sprinted so fast that he closed nearly half the distance between us before I could even react. I dropped the broom and ran back to the office. The man was inches away from me as I got in and slammed the door shut. I put my entire body weight into the door, trying to keep him from getting in as I found the lock in the darkness and flipped it. Once it was locked, I stepped away. A moment later, the machete came right through the door. I screamed in panic, watching the machete hack through the cheaply made door like it was made of cardboard. I thought about what I could do to keep him from getting in. I then swept everything off my boss's desk and flipped it up on its side long ways, then jammed it up against the door. It was something I would have struggled with on any other occasion, but the adrenaline in my blood unlocked more strength than I ever thought I had. Seconds before I thought the door would surely be chopped to pieces, the hacking suddenly stopped. There was silence again. It was so quiet I could hear myself about to cry. Finally, I had the sense to take out my phone and dial 911.
Please. There's a man trying to kill me with a machete at the Dollar Tree. Please help me.
The 911 operator continued to ask me questions, but I soon couldn't hear any of it. All I could hear were the sounds coming from the other side of the store. I realized that the man had walked away from me because he had found himself another target, and she was screaming for her life.
Hurry! Please hurry! He's gonna kill her!
I broke down in tears, hiding in a dark corner of the office. The screams eventually stopped. I didn't know whether to go out and help or wait for the cops. I expected him to come back for me. I felt I was only waiting to meet the same fate as my coworker. Yet somehow, he never came. I didn't know if he was still there. I just stood there frozen in the room, puzzled by everything that was going on. After many minutes of terror in the office, some police officers finally knocked on what was left of the door and got me out. Unfortunately, as they escorted me out of the store, I saw what that man had done. I saw what was left of Karen. Her body was in pieces, mangled and torn up. It was an unthinkable destruction of what was once a decent human being. I collapsed in shock and vomited on the floor right then and there. The cops had to carry me out. They found the killer about an hour later. He was only a few blocks away. When they asked me if I had any connection to him, or if I...
One eye going that way, other one going that way. Just be tweaking, bro. Like, what's wrong with you? You on drugs or something? Yeah, you on something? You on something, bro. You gotta be on crack.
knew if Karen did. I said no. I had never seen that man before. He just came into my place of work one day and decided he was going to take out the first person he saw.
Oh my God.
There was no
Forgot to tell y'all, that hairline, bro. Whoever his barber is, gotta be the reason he acting like this, bro. Whoever his barber is, gotta be the reason he acting like that, bro. Bro, I would have been on the rampage too, bro. Yo, that hairline is gone. It's never coming back, bro. Not even $1 billion can fix that. Not even.
motive at all. Just insanity. Just evil. The Dollar Tree didn't survive the bad press from the incident. My boss was forced to close the store not long after it happened. It didn't help that I quit the day of. I can't imagine ever stepping foot inside of a Dollar Tree ever again, much less spending an 8-hour shift in one. Just the sight of one makes my stomach turn. This story was inspired by a horrific incident regarding a woman who was hacked to death by a machete-wielding madman while working her job at a Dollar Tree, just less than 2 months after she married the love of her life. The newlywed, 22-year-old Ohio woman Karis Riebel, was taken out Sunday at the dollar store in Upper Sandusky while working a shift on New Year's Day. Cops were called to the scene at 4:25 p.m. Shortly after, was said to have entered the establishment. Upon arriving, officers came across the grisly scene and found Riebel's remains on the store floor. Her attacker, however, was nowhere to be found. Within the hour, cops tracked down Beckley about a mile from the store and immediately arrested him. In a GoFundMe account set up to help Riebel's husband with funeral expenses, his aunt, Amber Geyser, revealed that the pair had been newlyweds. It's unclear if any relationship existed between the victim and the suspect. The Wyandotte County Major Crimes Unit is currently investigating the incident. The man has since been charged accordingly.
That one was crazy. That one was crazy for real. Yeah, it's really crazy. I'm gonna get that one like 7. Yeah, I'm gonna get that one's way better than the first one. I'm gonna give it like an 8 because that one was fire. I ain't gonna cap, it was real fire. But yeah, so crazy.
I worked with my dad at Taco Bell. My cousin worked with us too, and together we basically ran the place. Our location got pretty busy during the day, and we got just as much traffic at night, if not more. At 10 p.m., we closed the inside and only did drive-thru orders. The drive-thru was very busy most nights, especially on the weekends. My cousin and I did the prep work and made the orders while my dad ran the register and took the orders. One night, I was cleaning up my station during some downtime when I heard my dad greeting a new customer. I got ready to make the order when it came up on the screen, but I couldn't help hearing the customer's voice through my dad's headset since my station was close to the window. My dad was a little hard of hearing, so he always had it turned up super high, but my hearing was sharp enough to just barely hear it when the kitchen was quiet enough.
Give me 4 tacos with extra sauce and 2 Cokes while you're at it.
There was something strange about that guy's voice. I couldn't tell what it was because I could barely hear it, but it just sounded off. It was unnaturally deep and disturbing. I tried to disregard it and started making the order of a few tacos. A few moments later, the customers pulled up. They were in a large black SUV with heavily tinted windows. I peeked around the corner as they rolled down the window and revealed their faces. 2 middle-aged men were in the car, and they both looked extremely strange.
Y'all don't go take a shower. Hold on. If I'm moved out the way. No, if y'all don't take a shower, bro, look at you. Gang head got hard-headed because he wouldn't take a shower. And look at his beard, just black. Look at the first bro's face. Bro's eyeballs going like, bro, and then his nose like Pinocchio, gang. And the other one's nose like Pinocchio. And then his chest is just dirt and his shirt dirt. It's white. That's expected. But dang. And you're skinny. Go do some push-ups or something. And you got too much hair right here, bro. Brush your hair. Do something, bro. I ain't brushed my hair and brushed my teeth. Hey, bro, chill. Stop trying to roast me, bro. Relax. It's 8. It's like 8 something. Like probably 9 by the... Nah, it's like 8:50. Leave me alone. Alright, go back.
From their unsettling expressions to the way their faces were put together, it was all just really creepy. They looked oddly similar, too, like they could have been brothers. I went back to making their food so they wouldn't catch me staring, but I kept listening to their conversation. At first, my dad treated them like any other customer, but hearing their voices in person was even creepier. Something about them just made my skin crawl. I did my best to keep it from causing me to make a mistake. Before long, I was almost done. But that's when things took a turn for the worst. Suddenly, I heard my dad yell at them that their $20 bill was fake.
It's fake! Your money is fake! Take the fake 20 and shove it up your ass! It's real, damn it! Just take the 20 and give me my damn tacos!
I looked around the corner and saw the worst case scenario. The deranged creep jumped out of his car and crawled halfway through the window holding a knife.
Is bro Spider-Man? He's creeping through the dark. Is he Batman? Bro said. Like, bro, what is he doing?
To my dad's face. My legs locked up. The driver was waving the knife around while my dad stood just far enough back not to be hurt. But I knew if the driver got any closer that things could go horribly wrong. The passenger was smiling at me through the window. He seemed amused that we were watching this catastrophe unfold together.
Just take the money! What's wrong with it? I told you it's fake! I can't take it! The money's as real as this knife! Which is gonna go right through your eyes if you don't take it! Please, stop! Dad, just take the money! You should listen to the kid, old man. He's got more brains than you. No! Leave us alone or I'm calling the cops! That Monopoly money might work at 7-Eleven, but not Taco Bell, bitch!
Dad seemed completely unafraid, but with every passing second, that psycho looked more and more ready to snap. He'd gone from a creep to a demon in a matter of seconds, so I knew time was of the essence. I quickly dialed 911 and talked to the police while the situation continued to devolve before my eyes. Then, without warning, the psycho jumped through the window and did the unthinkable.
Dad! Dad! No! 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 No, Dad, no! Please! Stay with me! Stay with me!
I tried to save my father, but the only thing I could do was say goodbye to him in his final moments. He was gone within seconds. In that time, his killers did nothing except laugh as they took the rest of what they came for and drove off. Even if I hadn't been terrified of them, I was too devastated by the loss of my father to do anything but cry, as did my cousin when he came out of the bathroom. He had thought the yelling was just an angry customer, but he had no idea how bad things actually were. By the time help finally arrived, the men in the car were long gone. And since then, the investigation yielded no results. Despite the killer's face being captured on the security footage, he still hasn't been identified. What's worse, they had their license plate covered, so there was no way to track them that way either. For obvious reasons, my cousin and I have been unable to work there ever since, or at any Taco Bell for that matter. My family continues to grieve my father's loss. He leaves behind me, my mother, and my 2 younger siblings, who all relied on him. He tried to make a stand for what he thought was right for his livelihood, but it ended up costing him everything. The story was inspired by a horrific incident regarding a Taco Bell worker who was taken out by a customer after the restaurant had refused to accept a counterfeit $20 bill from the customer, who then opened fire. The 41-year-old male victim, named locally as Alejandro Garcia, was working with his son at the fast food chain restaurant in South Los Angeles when he was taken out around 11 p.m. Alejandro's son, who also works at the Taco Bell, had gotten into an argument with 2 men who had tried to pay with the fake bill while ordering drive-thru food in a black sedan. The argument at the drive-thru window escalated and one of the customers began opening fire. The attackers then sped off and remained at large. Garcia's son had attempted to close the window to provide cover, but it was unfortunately too late. No arrests have since been made in the case. Garcia worked at the restaurant part-time in order to provide extra money for his family. A statement from Taco Bell said, "We are shocked and saddened to hear that this happened. Our deepest condolences go out to the family and friends of Garcia in this difficult time."
Okay, guys, we ended off right there. I hope that video was actually fun for you guys. But yeah, that's where I'm gonna end it. So, if you enjoyed that, like, subscribe, and if you want more reacting to those type of videos, yeah, just do what I said and keep it okay, and then keep it Ayo and Ayookaydo out.